Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I am super stoked. I got my Salsa Rustler back. I took this to a bike shop called Angry Catfish. They're one of my favorite shops in the area. And I had all of the suspension pivots redone on it. It really needed it. It's been abused for about 3 years. And it just needed some TLC, so I got it back. I can start riding this bike again. This bike is one of my favorite bikes in my stable. I have fully customized this bike to my liking, from handlebars, stem, to the drivetrain, and so on and so forth. I even still have that oval chainring on here. I don't even notice that thing anymore. So yeah, I am super excited to get back on this bike. It's been about a month. Last time I rode it was the Paradise Playground at Monarch, and that is when I noticed, after riding those trails on my way back to the trailhead, that it was creaking. Took it apart. I actually did a video of it, a short, of the bearings falling out in my hands. So yeah, I probably should have taken it in over the winter time and had that work done. I don't know why I didn't, but anyway, so that's that update. I want to update you on the Poseidon. Okay, so the Poseidon, I'll be brutally honest, I wasn't all that thrilled during my first ride video. The bike just felt awkward and so on and so forth. So what I did is I switched out some of the parts. Initially, all I did was put a different stem on and this fork on, and I went out and pedaled around to see if this frame had the potential that I thought it would, and it did. The bike just suddenly felt awesome just with those two parts that I changed out. So I decided to take it a little further, since I realized that I like the frame. So I mean, look at the frame. Now look at the profile of the bike. It looks a lot better and a lot more legit. And so what I did is I put a dropper post on. I actually found this post. It's a Crank Brothers dropper post. I've never had one of these before, and it was on sale, so I thought, well, why not, right? I put the seat back on. The seat's really comfortable, believe it or not. I mean, it's pretty wild, but we'll leave it on there. The other thing I did is I really wanted some grippier tires, so I got these Bontrager SE4 team issue tires. These should be a lot better on the trails, a lot grippier, so on and so forth. I do like the Advent X drivetrain, but I haven't installed it on here yet because I ordered it. I ordered the lighter weight 10-speed cassette they offer. It's got aluminum big cog in the next one down, and an aluminum carrier, so that'll save some weight in the rear, because this is a super heavy cassette. So I'm going to keep it 10 speed. I'm going to keep the Advent X on here because I actually like that. But a big upgrade that I did up here, ignore the stock pedals for a moment because I just haven't switched those out, but I put my Shimano SLX crankset. I actually had this crankset sitting around. So I haven't dumped a ton of money into this bike because a lot of the parts are things I had sitting around. Granted, I did buy the tires, but everything else I had sitting around. And then, of course, I ordered a new cassette, but that's fine. So all I had to order for this was bottom brackets. So I just got an XT bottom bracket, not very expensive, so I could put these SLX cranksets that I had laying around on there. So I suddenly just did a serious upgrade to this bike, getting away from that square taper crank. A bike that's $1,000, which is basically $1 less than $1,000, right, should not come with a square taper crankset. I'm sorry, go look at the competition. None of the bikes in that price range come with a cheap square taper press-on type crankset. That's the kind of stuff you see in department store bikes, right? And then up here, I had the fork laying around again, so I didn't buy a new fork for this bike. I just happened to have one. It's a 140 millimeter fork, so I threw that on here. So that's gonna help. I mean, it's blue, so it doesn't necessarily match, but honestly, it doesn't look that bad either. And I actually set the tires up tubeless, and these tubeless valve stems I have this little option for a green little lock nut on there, so that's cool. So I put that on to match the DVO green. So I'm trying to get cool with this thing, right? So what I'm doing up here is, this is the stem off my DJ bike, and I don't want to keep that bike butchered and out of commission for this bike. So I actually ordered a new stem and handlebar combo, and I'm fine with that because I want enough parts to where I can just swap out parts on different frames and stuff. I actually am trying to get a hold of a Santa Cruz Chameleon so I can compare that to this frame. They're just kind of hard to get in frame only. So I got a new stem and bars. I'll talk about those once they come in. The grips are pretty good. I'm leaving these levers on here. I don't necessarily like them, but they work. And I'm gonna swap this housing out. I have a bunch of compressionless housing, and this isn't compressionless, so it makes the brakes feel a little squishy. So I bet you when I put compressionless housing on here, these will be much more crisp and grabby. And I am trying this wolf tooth dropper lever out. This is their new one. I'll talk about that in another video, and so on and so forth. So there you have it. That's what's going on. So I have a stem, handlebar, and rear cassette coming yet. And once I get those parts, I will go out and ride this bike again and let you know what I think. And I have a feeling I am going to like it, just from the little test riding I've done out in front of my house. I'm pretty stoked on it. Front end comes up easily, manuals, bunny hops well, all that stuff, and it's a lot lighter now that it's down to like around 31 pounds versus the 34.5 pounds now that I've switched out some of these parts, mainly that fork. So this is going to be a blast. I have a feeling I'm really going to like this bike. I mean, if you look at its profile, it's pretty sweet. So there you have it, just a quick little update for you so you know what's going on. I'm going up to Cuyuna this weekend. It's going to be a pretty chill weekend. I'm going to bring my Rustler up there. I haven't ridden that bike for over a month, and I just want to get on that bike and shred it and just have fun this weekend. Appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace.